Here.
Cacciatore,
Here.
Carberry Montgomery,
Here.
Kroll,
Here.
Rosendahl.
Here.
Thank you.
All right, please stand as you're able for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Urbandale is a national leader in character counts, endeavoring at all times to promote and model the principles of trustworthiness, respect, responsibility, fairness, caring, and citizenship. In conducting tonight's meeting, we expect that all participants will act in a respectful manner consistent with these principles. Item 2 is to approve the agenda. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Rosendahl,
Second.
second by Cacciatore. Discussion, please vote.
We were all green checks and ready to go until I hit go live on the stream, and it did something odd. Have the votes, has it come through to your iPads to vote?
No.
Let me do it old school tonight.
If I may take a voice vote for this one, and
All
then
right.
I'll work on that while
Let's
we
do
our-
let's do it old school. Roll call.
Okay. Rosendahl,
Yes.
Cacciatore,
Yes.
Kroll,
Yes.
Bodie,
Yes.
Carberry Montgomery.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Item 3 is presentations. First, we have a proclamation for 2025 National African American History Month. Whereas the City of Urbandale is proud to recognize February as National African American History Month, also known as Black History Month. This is a time to honor and celebrate the legacy of Black Americans whose power to lead, to overcome, and to expand the meaning and practice of American democracy has helped our nation become a more fair and just society. And whereas this month is an opportunity for all citizens of Urbandale to acknowledge and reflect upon the heritage of Black Americans and to recommit ourselves to promoting diversity, equity, and justice in our community. And whereas this country was established upon the profound but simple idea that all people are created equal and should be treated equally throughout their lives. Now therefore, I, Robert Andeweg, Mayor of the City of Urbandale, do hereby proclaim the month of February as African American History Month and urge all residents of Urbandale to participate in our scheduled events that recognize the vital role that Black Americans have had in shaping our nation. Proud to sign that. And we do have several events. I think Nicholas will probably talk about that more in the future, in the near future here. But we have several events at the library, I think, scheduled that we'll get some more information out on that. So, and speaking of Nicholas and the library, the next one is for all Urbandale Reads. Whereas the City of Urbandale and the Urbandale Public Library recognize the importance of forging connections with local residents. And whereas one book, one community programs like all Urbandale Reads have unified cities across the United States. Whereas the Urbandale Public Library has selected, are you ready, Bridget?
It was me. I had to make sure, or he reminded me I needed to make room on my Libby to get a hold on it.
Has selected,
So many books on there, maybe I already have it held, I don't know.
the Urbandale Public Library has selected The Light Pirate by Lily Brooks Dalton, a poignant story of resilience as a woman navigates a changing world, drawing strength from her love for her family and the beauty of nature to build a future against the odds, as the 2025 Urbandale All Reads book. And whereas the culmination of the 2025 All Urbandale Reads program will feature community book discussions, educational programs, and special events designed to bring residents together through literacy and strengthen bonds within our community. Now therefore, I, Robert Andeweg, Mayor of the City of Urbandale, on behalf of the Urbandale City Council and the Urbandale Public Library, do hereby promote the All Urbandale Reads program and the reading of this excellent book to all residents. And I know we have Nicholas Channing, our library director here. Also, a number of the library board members are here. I'm gonna have them come up and we'll present this. Then I'll have Nicholas give a little bit more information.
We don't even have to roll out of the way. I was gonna say, I think just crouched out. I usually duck or slide.
That's insider information. It is, no.
On air.
Okay. One, two, three. There, great.
All right, thank you, Mayor, members of council. Really great to be here tonight as part of our All Urbandale Reads announcement. So thank you, Mayor, for having us here. Really excited to be here and have the Light Pirate be announced as our title. The All Urbandale Reads initiative really is I think a really cool initiative that we do here in Urbandale. So there's really two primary goals. The first is to promote literacy, and then the second is just to unify the community and bring them together to read a single book. So we've had the All Urbandale Reads initiative for probably about 10 years, and it's just a really great opportunity to bring everyone together, you know. Really great different segments of the community come together to the library to have workshops and events, book clubs, and just kind of be together and share ideas and build these connections. So I'll turn it over to Stacy Stanton. She's our programming and outreach manager, and she'll talk a little bit more about some of the events that we have for this initiative.
Yes, so we will be having a couple of book discussions later this year, so we really encourage everyone to attend. And then we will also have a featured speaker, perhaps more than one, so we're still in the planning stages with that, but we always like to have a speaker that talks about a topic. So this book, you might already have guessed, is a little bit about sustainability, climate change, and just the changing world we live in. So we think we'll generate a lot of good discussion and have a lot of interest on this topic. We do want to also thank our Library Foundation for sponsoring this program. They purchase all of the copies for us that we can allow for checkout, and then they also sponsor the programs that we do, the speakers that we bring in, so we do want to acknowledge them, and we really appreciate everyone's support of this program. Thank you.
All right.
And just one last thing, we do have some books available, so if you would be interested in taking any of these books, and if you want to read it, we'll give you a first crack at it. We got a stack of books, I'll put them right over here, and you're welcome to take one as you leave today. And then the other thing is, I will mention just briefly, we do have a number of different events over at the library for African American History Month. We have two different book clubs. One is talking about desegregation in the school system. The other one is by an African American author. And then we also have a virtual author talk with an African American author and journalist. So those are some of the different events that we have. And then we also have a cool thing for the kids for them to go over in our youth area, and then you can see various pieces of artwork made by African American authors. So just encourage everyone to stop by and check all of those things out at the library. So thank you.
Thank you, Nicholas. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you to the board and staff as well, and for everything you do to bring our community together through the library. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, we are now on the Citizens Forum. This is the opportunity for you to address the council on something that's not a part of tonight's agenda. Does anyone like to address the council this time? All right, seeing none, then we'll move on. Item 5 is to approve the minutes from the January 21 meeting.
So move.
Motion by Bodie,
Second.
second by Carberry Montgomery. Discussion, roll call yet? Are we doing roll call yet? Nope. Or you can vote? Here we go.
It's in
All right.
process.
That passes. Item 6 is the consent agenda, and there are 9 items on the consent agenda for approval.
So moved.
Motion by Kroll. Second by Cacciatore. Discussion, please vote. That passes. Moving on to public hearings. First is item 7.1, a public hearing to consider the development agreement with Hubble Realty Company. The public notice for this was published in the January 17, 2025 Des Moines Register. I ask the clerk for the objections to that notice is published.
There were none.
All
This date was
Oh, I'm sorry.
in January.
You're right.
yes,
Thank you for
yes.
that. This one is currently open. That's correct. Right? We're continuing this from the previous meeting, so I'm sorry about that. So we're not opening that. So anything, Curtis, do you want to, anything further?
Thank you, Mayor and Council. This is a simple action. Our recommendation is to simply close this public hearing. We have changed the terms of the development agreement, so we will later on in the agenda, there is consideration of publication of a new hearing for February 18. So the recommendation tonight is to simply close the public hearing.
Right. All right. With that, is there a motion to close the public hearing?
I
So
move to
moved.
close the public hearing.
Motion by Carberry Montgomery.
Second.
Second by Bodie. Discussion, please vote. All right, item 7.2 is a public hearing and consideration of the bids for the 2025 Storm Sewer Intake Rehabilitation Program. This was published in the January 17, 2025 Des Moines Register. And ask if there are any objections to that notice is published.
There were none.
And is there a motion to open this public hearing?
So moved.
Motion by Rosendahl,
Second.
second by Kroll. Discussion, please vote. That passes. And to introduce this is our Director of Engineering and Public Works, John Larson. John?
Yep. Good evening, Mayor, members of the council. This is kind of starting off our public hearing on our annual maintenance type projects. Our first one here is our storm sewer intake rehabilitation program. Last Wednesday, January 29th, we received 5 bids on this project. We're recommending the low bid from Brothers Cleaning Corporation, doing business as Brothers Concrete, in the amount of $653,013. Their low bid is approximately $137,000 or 17% less than our engineer's estimate. And with this project, we'll be reconstructing 56 intakes and also replacing 2,500 square yards of street patching. And we're anticipating the project being done by September 26th. Just kind of show you where all the locations are. All the black dots on here is for reference. In the middle here is 86th Street, and then over here is Douglas. So we're predominantly north of Douglas and east of 86th Street is where the intake repairs will occur. With that, I'd be glad to answer any questions.
Questions for John on this?
John, this isn't specific to necessarily this bid, but how do we have an intake that I'm well aware of that's not good. Do I just reach out to you and
Yes.
see where it's at on
Yes.
the schedule?
Yep.
Great, thank you.
There's certain times, even if a grate or something on an intake will move and we don't know about it till somebody tells us, so you let us know and we'll definitely get it looked at.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions from the council? We are in public hearing on this item, and anyone would like to address the council on this? Okay, seeing none, is there a motion to close the public hearing?
So move.
Motion by Bodie,
Second.
second by Carberry and Montgomery. Discussion, please vote. That passes. There are 3 items for consideration.
Motion to approve Resolution 047-2025.
Motion by Rosendahl,
Second.
second by Kroll. Discussion, please vote. That passes.
Motion to approve Resolution 048-2025.
Motion by Rosendahl,
Second.
second by Kroll. Discussion, please vote. That passes.
Motion to approve Resolution 049-2025.
Motion by Rosendahl,
Second.
second by Kroll. Discussion, please vote. That passes. Moving on to item 7.3 is a public hearing and consideration of the bids for the 2025 PCC Patch Program Phase 1. The public notice for this was also published in the January 17, 2025 Des Moines Register. And there are objections to that notice is published.
There were none.
Is there a motion to open?
So move.
Motion by Bodie, second
Second.
by Kroll. Discussion, please vote. That passes. John?
So this is our bid tabulation for our annual PCC Patch Program Phase 1. Again, last Wednesday, January 29th, we received 9 bids on this project. We're recommending the low bid from Brothers Cleaning Corporation, doing business as Brothers Concrete, in the amount of $1,595,375.53. Their low bid was approximately $235,000 or almost 13% less than our engineer's estimate. With this project, we'll be patching approximately 17,000 square yards and reconstructing 12 intakes. And we're anticipating being done by September 26th. Just kind of wanted to touch for a second. You'll kind of notice a theme on most of our low bidders here was Brothers Concrete. we have talked to them. They're comfortable, they can do all the work. Our work is approximately little over $5 million. Last year, they did $6 million worth of this type work. So right now, they're committed to doing our work. They said they may pick up some stuff for later in the year after they've completed ours, but as of right now, we've got their assurance that this is going to be their main focus. So just wanted to hit that for a second while you realize it's the same contractor over and over here. So, and then also go into where the patches are at. So on the bottom of the screen is Meredith Drive, and just off the screen is Merle Hay Road. So we're basically west of Merle Hay Road, north of Meredith Drive. Just kind of wanted to show this. This shows all the patches, and this is what it is available on our website. So as the patches get completed, we turn them to green so people in the neighborhood can kind of see how they're progressing through the neighborhood, which ones are done, which ones are still left to do. So again, this is where the phase 1 portion of the project is. And with that, I'd be glad to answer any questions.
When it comes to flipping those to green,
Mhm.
like we sent a notice to everybody and said, like, this is the website, you can go and look to kind of see where those are flipping over.
Correct. The way we do it is we will start off, once we have our pre-con and get a general idea schedule, we send a letter out to everybody that's along the project, telling them here's generally who the contractor is, what's happening, and to look at this website. And then as the contractor starts, they put a door hanger on the doors to get going to kind of say, hey, here's where we're starting, that we're actually going. And then if they have an actual patch or something that impacts the driveway, then they talk to them individually and make sure they're aware, hey, we're going to be at your driveway at this time, and that kind of stuff to coordinate. So we kind of have kind of 3 different phases where we talk to the residents.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, any other questions? We're in public hearing on this item. Would anyone like to address the council on this item? All right, seeing none, is there a motion to close the public hearing? Motion by Cacciatore,
Second.
second by Bodie. Discussion, please vote. That passes. There are 3 items for consideration on this.
Move resolution 031-2025.
By Bodie,
Second.
second by Rosendahl. Discussion, please vote. That passes.
Move resolution 032-2025.
Motion by Bodie,
Second.
second by Rosendahl. Discussion, please vote. That passes.
Move resolution 033-2025.
Motion by Bodie,
Second.
second by Rosendahl. Discussion, please vote. Is the photo finished there? That passes. Moving on to item 7.4 is a public hearing and consideration of the bids for the 2025 PCC Patch Program Phase 2. And the public notice for this was also published in the January 17, 2025 Des Moines Register. And ask if there are any objections to that notice is published.
There were none.
Is there a motion to open this public hearing?
So moved.
Roll.
Second.
Second by Cacciatore. Discussion, please vote. All right, that passes. John?
Okay, so this is phase 2 of our PCC patch program. Also, last Wednesday, January 29th, we received 10 bids on this project. We're recommending the low bid from Brothers Cleaning Corporation, doing business as Brothers Concrete, this time in the amount of $1,427,324.65. Their low bid is approximately $260,000 or 15% less than our engineer's estimate. We'll be looking to do 16,200 square yards of concrete patching and 12 intake reconstructions. And then we're anticipating being done by September 26th. So where this one is at, on the left-hand side here is 128th Street. At the bottom is Douglas Parkway. So we're north of Douglas, east of 128th Street in the Timberline area is where these patches will occur. And again, this is a similar map that'll be on our website. With that, I'd be glad to answer any questions.
I noticed that at least these last 2 and maybe all 3 of them from Brothers were below the engineer estimate.
Yep.
I know it's early, but are you feeling good about prices?
I am. I've looked at kind of the patches. We're we're similar to what we were paying last year based on the low bids. We're less than we were the year before that, but of course, we're much more than we were a few years ago. So all in all, I think we're doing fairly well. I think development is maybe a little slower, so there's more work needed out there to kind of pick up the slack there, and I think the city will benefit from that. Also, I think we're getting a lot of our projects out early, which also helps us get good bids.
That's shown by the number of bidders too, I think. Obviously.
Correct. Correct. It's almost like we're doing our small sidewalk ones. Those are usually the ones where we get 9, 10 bidders,
Yeah.
so.
Well, I was glad to see them being under budget.
Yep.
We're on public hearing for this item. Would anyone like to address the council on this item? Seeing none, is there a motion to close this one?
So move.
Motion by Bodie,
Second.
second by Kroll. Discussion, please vote. That passes, and you know the theme. There are 3 items here for consideration.
Motion to approve resolution 034-2025.
Motion by Kroll,
Second.
second by Cacciatore. Discussion, please vote. That passes.
Motion to approve resolution 035-2025.
Motion by Kroll,
Second.
second by Cacciatore. Discussion, please vote. Don't leave me in suspense here, guys. That passes.
And motion to approve resolution 036-2025.
Motion by Kroll,
Second.
second by Cacciatore. Discussion, please vote. That passes. Item 7.5 is a public hearing on consideration of bids for the Justin Drive Preservation, 100th Street to 109th Street. The public notice for this was also published in the January 17, 2025 Des Moines Register, and ask for any objections to that notice is published.
There were none.
Motion to open.
So move.
Motion by Bodie,
Second.
second by Rosendahl. Discussion, please vote. That passes. John?
Okay, so this is our Justin Drive Preservation Project from 100th Street to 109th Street. So last Wednesday, January 29th, we received 9 bids on this project. We're recommending the low bid from Brothers Cleaning Corporation, doing business as Brothers Concrete, in the amount of $1,453,439.52. They're approximately $396,000 or 21% under our engineer's estimate. On here, with this project, we'll be doing 7,600 square yards of full depth patching, 350 square yards of partial depth asphalt patching, and then 3,600 tons of asphalt overlay. We're anticipating this project being completed by September 19th, and this is likely the first project that they will start on. I'm kind of talking a little bit about the project. So on the right-hand side here is 100th Street. Douglas is up at the top or north. So they will do the patching and overlay on Justin up to 104th Street. We'll skip over 104th Street. As you recall, in the 2019-2020 construction seasons when we reconstructed 104th Street from Hickman Road up to Douglas Avenue. Then we go on the west side of 104th with Justin where it turns into 109th will be patches and overlay. And then Justin Drive just west of 109th, this one is in a little bit more deteriorated state, so this is an area that'll be a full reconstruction. They'll bring in the paver and pave this stretch through here.
They do that in phases so that the businesses can stay open then?
Nope, they're all in one. They've got other accesses
Okay.
off of
Oh, yeah.
109th. So again, they'll have to keep 109th open, but we'll close this down. And that's the nice part about by using the paver, we'll get a much smoother product. I guess with that, I'd be glad to answer any questions.
Questions for John on this?
About how long will Justin Drive be closed in that stretch?
I'm anticipating about 1 month.
All right, we are in public hearing for this item. Would anyone like to address the council on this item? All right, seeing none, is there a motion to close this public hearing?
So moved.
Motion by Kroll,
Second.
second by Bodie. Discussion, please vote. That passes, and just to note, there are 4 items on this particular item, so.
Motion to approve Resolution 038-2025.
Motion by Rosendahl,
Second.
second by Cacciatore. Discussion, please vote. That passes.
Motion to approve 039-2025.
Motion by Rosendahl,
Second.
second by Cacciatore. Discussion, please vote. That passes.
Motion to approve Resolution 040-2025.
Motion by Rosendahl,
Second.
second by Cacciatore. Discussion, please vote. That passes.
Motion to approve Resolution 052-2025.
Motion by Rosendahl,
Second.
second by Cacciatore. Discussion, please vote. That passes. Item 7.6 is a public hearing and consideration of bids for the Meredith Drive Preservation 86th Street, 4th Street, and the public notice for this was also published in the January 17, 2025 Des Moines Register. As there are any objections to that, notice is published.
There were none.
Is there a motion to open this public hearing?
So moved.
Motion by Kroll,
Second.
second by Bodie. Discussion, please vote. John, you're on the home stretch.
Yep.
That passes.
Okay, so this is our bid tabulation for our Meredith Drive Preservation Project, 86th Street to 104th Street. So it was on January 22nd, the Iowa DOT received bids on Urbandale's behalf. We received 6 bids. We're recommending the low bid from Howry Construction in the amount of $1,991,334. Their low bid is approximately $653,000, or almost 25% less than our engineer's estimate. We wanted to note that we also have $500,000 in federal funds with this project. I also wanted to go back a little bit of history, since this one's been a long time in the making here, just to refresh everybody that this was part of our Complete Streets Master Plan to have a trail on the north side of Meredith, so that's part of the project. We did hold a public information meeting. We're explaining the project on July 30th, 2024. And the project will consist of 2,500 square yards of full depth concrete patching, 350 square yards of partial depth asphalt patching, and then 6,500 tons of asphalt overlay. And as I mentioned, the existing sidewalk will be replaced as either an 8 or a 10-foot wide trail on the north side. And it's got a completion date of September 20th. I just want to kind of show how everything connects. So again, we have a trail west and northwest Urbandale Drive. We currently have this stretch between 104th and northwest Urbandale Drive under contract. That should be completed this spring. It was delayed a little bit as we got the power lines moved underground. So that'll connect into the trail that goes south on Urbandale Avenue. Then we've got Aurora, 104th, Sutton to 100th Street that we constructed the last couple of years there. And then this trail will be from 104th over to 86th Street. You can see that'll fill in this gap and also connect to the adjacent trails in the park. So here just shows the patches that'll be done on 86th Street on Meredith Drive between 86th Street and 104th. And I wanted to go into a little bit about, where we discussed the trail widths varying a little bit. So we start at 104th by the soccer and softball complex. The purple line is where the trail is 8 feet wide. That was due to constraints with fences and the grading around the area. Where we switched to green is where we're able to go back to a 10-foot wide trail through this area. The yellow circles just to note the different driveways that we will cross as we're coming through. As we get to the park and the box culvert, we narrow back down to the 8-foot trail, and then we're able to go back to a 10-foot as we continue east. The red circle is the large tree that we're looking to avoid. So in that area, it'll remain a 4-foot sidewalk. We won't do anything in that area. And as we proceed east over to 91st Street, the blue line is where we'll have the 10-foot trail and then the retaining wall next to it. The retaining wall in one spot is probably about 3.5 feet tall, but I'd say on average it's about 2 feet through this area. Then we get east of 91st in the green. We go back to a 10-foot trail until we get up by Walgreens where there's an existing wall that we'll replace. We'll have a 10-foot trail with the wall, cross the Walgreens driveway, and then come and end at 86th Street. And then with that, I'd be glad to answer any questions.
All right. Questions for John on this?
When it comes to the retaining wall, I know we had talked a while back about trying to figure out what kind of disruption that would do with folks that have fences. The retaining wall stays out of everybody's kind of fenced area back there?
Correct. It all stays in the right of way when
Gotcha.
we construct it, yes.
Okay.
Any other questions?
With,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
oh, sorry, with the grant funding, is that paid out as kind of a reimbursement or how does that work?
Correct. It's a maximum 80-20 match, so again, we'll have no problem covering the match part. Typically, we'll do the project, turn in our paperwork, and get reimbursed for it after the project's complete.
Yeah, those are the STP funds that we got, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what that. All right, we are in public hearing on this item. Would anyone like to address the council on this item? All right, seeing none, is there a motion to close this public hearing?
So moved.
Motion by Kroll,
Second.
second by Bodie. Discussion, please vote. That passes. There are three.
Move Resolution 041, 2025.
Motion by Bodie,
Second.
second by Carberry Montgomery. Discussion, please vote. That passes.
Move Resolution 042, 2025.
Motion by Bodie,
Second.
second by Carberry Montgomery. Discussion, please vote.
I'll move approval of resolution 043. Where'd it go?
Wait a minute, that,
Yeah, he hasn't.
The second one passes
Oh, you didn't
first.
say it. I was so excited to do my job today.
okay. Now you can. The
Okay.
previous one passed.
Well, it passed on my screen. Move approval of resolution 043-2025.
Motion by Carberry Montgomery,
Second.
second by Bodie. Discussion, please vote. That passes. All right. Item 8 is to establish future public hearings. Item 8.1 is to establish a public hearing for the development agreement with Hubble Realty Company and Line 7 Apartments LLC for February 18, 2025.
Motion to approve council letter 8058.
Motion by Kroll,
Second.
second by Cacciatore. Discussion, please vote. That passes. Item 8.2 is to establish a public hearing for the surface water flowage and storm sewer easement vacation for Lot 40, Jordan Lee Plat 1 at 5029 149th Court.
Motion to approve council letter 8057.
Motion by Rosendahl,
Second.
second by Kroll. Discussion, please vote. That passes. Item 8.3 is to establish a public hearing for the Roseland Drive storm sewer improvements.
Motion to approve Council Letter 8055.
Okay, motion by Bodie,
Second.
second by Cacciatore. Discussion, please vote.
Should take this last one, Bridget.
You want me to?
Yeah.
That passes. Item 8.4 is to establish a public hearing for the Parks and Public Works Storage Buildings renovation.
I'll move approval of council letter 8056.
Motion by Carberry Montgomery,
Second.
second by Bodie. Discussion, please vote. That passes. All right, regular agenda items. Item 9.1 is to consider the collective bargaining agreement for the Urbandale Professional Peace Officers Association Teamsters Local 238. And to introduce this is our HR Director, Erin Freeman. Erin?
Good evening. Welcome to the new faces here this evening. The current police officers collective bargaining agreement expires on June 30th of this year. Over the course of the last few months, we have negotiated with the police officers unit to bring forward a proposed 3-year contract. Included in that is a 4% across-the-board increase for this year and next year, with a wage reopener for the 3rd year of the contract, as well as some other minor changes to that agreement. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have. Otherwise, we would recommend approval of this and authorize the mayor to sign.
A wage reopener is like being able to come back and have a conversation about it.
Yep, and we would specifically only talk about wages and not anything else under the contract.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions?
Move Resolution 009, 2025.
Motion by Bodie,
Second.
second by Kroll. Any further discussion? Please vote. That passes. Item 9.2 is considered the second reading for ordinance 2025-04, and I'm gonna, Chief Johansson's gonna come up to discuss this some more.
Mayor, members of council, just putting this ordinance back in front of you again tonight with a little addition that was requested last time about a definition of a farmer's market. I added a couple sentences there that I hope meets your approval. It was a pretty simple definition, but something that was needed in there to kind of explain what we were talking about. Other than that, everything stayed the same.
Any questions for the chief?
I appreciate you taking our feedback, and hopefully we'll have a farmer's market to have concerns about down the road. So I'll, what's the action here? Tell me.
Approve the second reading of.
I'll move the second reading of ordinance 2025-04.
Motion by Carberry Montgomery,
Second.
second by Kroll. Any further discussion? Please vote. That passes. All right, that takes us to the end of our regular agenda, so mayor and council items first. Amy?
Yeah, so, since I live in the nonprofit sphere, I've been dealing with a lot of the turmoil from the executive order, documentation that was released last week, and I am just curious how any of the executive orders, planned or otherwise, will affect our budget here at the city, particularly related to the Reinvestment Act money, and if that will have any impact on us. So that's one piece. And I don't know if we have the answer to that. I know there was some investigation of budget items that might be impacted, but that would be helpful to know. With that, though, I'm also really concerned about our immigrant and refugee neighbors that we have here in Urbandale, and have reached out a little bit to Stephanie Majeran with the Human Service Strat Plan to really start having the conversation from that perspective of how our neighbors are going to be impacted and what we may need to do as a city, whether that be coordination, whether that be helping to identify and align resources, et cetera, et cetera. One of the things that relates, we pulled together the neighborhood, or the community fridge locations from across the metro, got that to a couple of folks who were interested. One of the things that the Human Service Strategic Planning Group is doing currently is trying to locate all of the little food pantries in Urbandale. And so if you happen to be familiar with the location, if you could please either get that information to me or get it to John Conyer or Stephanie, that would be really helpful. You know, when we started that initiative, it wasn't with this in mind, but it's just hastened the desire to get that information pulled together even quicker. So that's a little bit about what's going on in the Human Services strategic plan realm right at the moment. The other thing, I sat in on the Thriving Communities webinar from the Iowa Finance Authority. This is something that Polk County Housing Trust Fund suggested we take a look at for a program. you can apply to be a thriving community. That designation only lasts for 1 year. So, and you have to know in an urban environment, which we would be an urban environment, we have to have the locations identified for any particular LIHTC workforce housing type projects. So it's something that we should probably look at, see if the timing of any potential projects that are coming down. We would be uniquely positioned because we have done some city investments already. We have county investments in some properties, et cetera. So it's something to look at. I will be getting the PowerPoint slides that I can share out as well with staff.
Amy, when are those applications, or is that application due? Because I know
the application opens, I think, next week, and I think it's due May 8th, May 7th, something like that. I'll have to look at the specifics, but I have them written down in my calendar.
so we have a little bit of time, but I know we came at that like in the last week, last year or something, and it was a little too late.
Yeah, yeah. So I'll forward that information out when I get it and work with probably Curtis or David or whomever.
Start with me.
Okay, and we'll go from there. Otherwise, I also got to listen to the TJ Klune author speaker series from the library a couple weeks ago. That was really fun. That's more fun stuff than work stuff, but good work for Urbandale to put that on.
All right.
I think that's it.
All right, thanks, Amy. Joe?
I just want to welcome David Jones.
I was remiss, I was gonna do that, probably, I should have done that first, so. Go ahead.
I appreciate you because I'm no longer the newest person at the table. So, we had a nice meeting on Friday. Other than that, I think everyone is keeping an eye on what's happening at the federal level, at the state level. I know the staff is paying attention to those things, and I appreciate that.
All right, thanks, Joe. Blake?
Just want to say that I'm very excited for Saturday. I think we're going to have a lot of fun. Secondly, just want to call out appreciating everybody for contributing to a city government that's striving to create a welcoming, safe, and stable community. And I know we have a lot of unpredictability going on in the world, and it's good to hold a space where we respect our neighbors, honor our commitment to regional cooperation, and strive to improve the work we do every day.
All right, thank you, Blake. Bridget?
Wow, that was something I didn't know I needed to hear. Thank you, Blake. Very honestly. I'm very excited about the All Urbandale Reads, and yes, I have made the reservation of the book on Libby for the audiobook. I also wanted to mention, Amy alluded to it, but we are now the proud owner of a community fridge at the Urbandale Public Library. It is just getting going. There's ways that people can get involved by donating excess food from events. There's also like a shelf next to it to put like canned goods. There's very little rules about use, and but it's an incredible asset for us to have at our library, and I'd love to see our community embrace it more. By saying more, like we just got it, so it's really early to say that we're not doing it or anything, but we are in very uncertain times, and to have a location as popular as the library, to have that fridge available is really a great asset for our community. And I also wanted to welcome our new city manager. I can't think of a more challenging time to start this job with all of the many external challenges that we're facing. And we begin a very challenging budget time, so welcome in that context. And I have the utmost confidence in your ability to rise to the occasion, and also wanted to take an opportunity to thank Curtis Brown for really doing an excellent job as the interim city manager, and continuing to support David as he transitions into the job. I've just the utmost confidence in all of our staff, but I think in these unprecedented times, we have very good leadership right now. So I'm very happy about that. And everybody's favorite topic, DART. So not really any big updates, just wanted to kind of talk to you about some processes. I sent an email out with a heads up. The issue that we really need to figure out, and there'll be a lot of information presented to you to help us figure out where we want to be on the continuum of ridership versus coverage. And when the consultants came in January, the commission had a workshop. There was a workshop for city managers and the DART, Reimagine DART cabinet. We were lucky that David and Curtis were able to attend that. But that information was kind of theoretical about the process that we're going to be embarking on. A lot of the questions you asked me in the email, Joe, it will give you background on that. So we have an opportunity to have some time over Zoom with the consultants to kind of review those concepts. And so I've talked to David. He's going to be sending out an email with some times for the first few weeks in March to indicate your availability, and then Angie work with Angie, and then Angie will work with DART to figure out when we're going to do those. And these are only if you're interested, but I know you guys are all interested. So. And then the beginning of April, the consultants will be here, and they will be presenting their first draft of this maps and plan where we figure out the coverage versus ridership. And there will be 2 opportunities during that week of April, like 1st to 4th, for member community councils to hear directly from the consultants what this map looks like. Then April 8th, Lunch and Learn, we will be able to have a very educated discussion on where we want Urbandale to be. And then I'll be able to take that back to the commission in May. So just read your emails, which I know you all do, but I just wanted to give you like a high level kind of process of what's gonna be coming down, because I think it's really, you guys have put a lot of trust in me over the last years to make decisions on behalf of Urbandale, but I think as we go into making decisions in Reimagine DART, it's really important that we're all knowledgeable and speaking in one voice. So stay tuned for many, many more emails, both from our staff, and then hopefully you're getting the emails that are coming from DART directly. Joe, did you get those, or I don't know if you've been added? Okay, fantastic. So I can always answer questions, but I just wanted to give you kind of a high-level understanding, probably too much detail, but of what's coming down on that. So that's all I got. Look forward to Saturday, not as much as Blake, though.
No, I appreciate those dates, too. That's good to have, so we can kind of mark that out. Ditto Bridget on really welcoming David Jones and thanking Curtis for exceptional work throughout this whole process. Really excited for the future in that regard of the people that we have, both on staff and on the council. So I'm really grateful for that. February 10th, there's a noon Watershed Management Authority meeting on salt. Doesn't seem like a relevant topic this year, but it is a relevant topic for the future. I will forward that email for anyone who wants to participate in that. And I think that's all I've got.
All right, thanks, Pat. The thing about going last is everybody steals my thunder. That's the problem. But I do want to echo, and I'm going to let David speak here in a minute. And actually, we're going to make that we've talked about it ahead of the meeting. We're going to make that part of our regular, it's going to be mayor and council and city manager items in that item. So David will have a chance to discuss on a regular basis during council meetings. But David, welcome aboard. We're glad to have you here. And again, Curtis, thank you so much for your leadership during these times. And I know you're going to continue your leadership in a role. So thank you for that. And we do have a great team. I'm looking forward to despite the uncertain times, I know we can navigate things very well. We're well-positioned as a community, and we will navigate well. In fact, tomorrow, David and I are going to be up at the Capitol together. We're going to see some leadership, so we're going to be advocating already at the Capitol tomorrow together. So, what else do I have? Saturday, budget session. Encourage everybody to come. Encourage the public to come if you want to listen to our budget considerations. You're certainly welcome. But the most exciting thing this week that I'm going to do is speak to the third graders at Karen Acres on Thursday afternoon. I'm looking forward to that. So, David, I'll turn it over to you.
I appreciate all the kind words and appreciate the opportunity to say some. I'm not going to say much, but I do appreciate the opportunity to have been here for the last week and a half. It's been a very busy week and a half where I have gone from meeting to meeting to meeting, and that will dissipate here pretty quickly, and that'll be good. We're already getting to work on some things. I echo the mayor's comments about our position to deal with all these challenges. This is a great team, and we are up for the challenge. I look forward to getting some things done. Saturday, I'm looking forward. I'm still working on it. I know typically you probably would already have maybe a sneak peek at the transmittal letter. We're still tweaking that a little bit. So if you're upset about that, don't be upset at Nikki. That's the new guy saying, whoa, let me take a look at that and make a couple tweaks. So looking forward to it. Very excited and look forward to, to the challenges that we've all talked about. We are very well equipped to deal with them. Thank you.
All right, with that, we are at the end of the agenda, so we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone. Have a great rest of your evening.